Alright, for the MST Open Series number 5 finals, we have Kaiju Zodiac versus Windwitch Invoked Artifact, a redemption match for Justin Woodman. And on the left we have Dylan Dallas, and on the right we have Justin Woodman. Once again, they were featured back in the Swiss rounds, which is why I kind of showcased it as the first match. There are other feature matches coming up, which are the rounds of Swiss, so they do not, we'll give you guys spoilers. Anyways, if you guys like this series, enjoyed it so far, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to us. And there's more stuff coming up. There's a lot of fun content coming from the data from this tournament. Of course, this is a June 12th format, and I think Justin is going to be proceeding to go first. I'm going to call him Woodman since he beats Airman, and I've been calling him Woodman since the very first series. So you're going to start off with a normal summon of the Windwitch. I believe that is Glass Bell. So now he is going to proceed to get himself a nice search. Normal opening a Glass Bell usually isn't the best case. You want to open with Ice Bell. Always gotta proceed to use Ash Blossom Joyous Spring to negate the search. Oh, there's a much better target to actually activate the Ash Blossom, which would be the Magical Meltdown. Now that has fetched the Alistair. If Alistair is summoned next turn or flip face up, well, we're gonna see some invocation action. Ooh, little knock accident by Dylan. Overall, pretty fair game so far. Sets 2 back row. Oh man, what's going on? Alright, so we're gonna see a pass turn after setting 2. Dylan has a Twin Twister in hand. Now we do know that, and he also should know, by he I mean Dylan, should know that he is running artifacts. Hitting 2 back row blindly with a Twin Twister might not be the most ideal. Oh, okay, there is an Artifact Sanctum. Luckily, there is nothing on the field, so there's no pops. But there is going to be a Scythe Summon. So this is something that Dylan could not have prevented anyway. The Scythe Summon was going to happen, but he did knock out the Torrential. So overall, he prevented a lot of destruction in terms of his front row of monsters. But he is ultimately still locked out thanks to the Artifact Scythe. Oh, that is actually one of the worst positions. This actually kind of reminds me of the previous match that they faced off in the feature match, which is Dylan was able to follow up with Kaijus. And basically, spoiler alert, he was able to carry himself all the way to the end with the Kaiju. Now he's going to activate a Tenki. Tenki is going to get that search for the Thoroughblade. Oh, he has to dig cards. He needs traps to actually survive for the turn. So he's going to activate Thoroughblade's effect, discarding the rat. He drew into another Twin Twister, I believe. Yes, he has another Twin Twister in hand and a Barrage. He has to be very careful of when he wants to activate that. Now, I feel like there might have been a bit of a mistiming for... well, before I get into that, let's see a Thoroughblade attack. Thoroughblade will be swinging for 200, because there is a Tenki. Okay, well now it's Justin's turn. Justin is going to proceed to summon the Alistair, and now he's going to be able to fetch himself an Invocation, and that Invocation search, I think that Ash probably would have preferred to actually stop that, because adding an Ice Spell into hand isn't exactly that threatening as long as your opponent maintains a set of monsters on the field. Now, with that in mind, now he's going to play the Invocation. He could either banish something out of Dylan's graveyard, or he could even go into Purgatrio right now because there is an Ash Blossom. But I don't think it's got any value. Now, the set card is a Twin Twister. Now, Dylan is very good at playing the mind games. He can constantly looking at the cards, constantly try to respond to stuff. Like, whenever your opponent asks for a response, you immediately just check it. And then you think about it, and then you can create all these little gestures to mind game your opponent, and a lot of times it does work. So it seems like he's going to be banishing his Alistair, which would be the first monster, and he needs to get the second one going. So he's going to be banishing another wind monster, so we're going to see a Raijin coming out. Overall, okay, so that's not bad. Now, reminder that there is no Xyz monster on the field, so... well, seems like this board is full of strong monsters, and he's going to activate the Invocation effect to add the Alistair that's banished back to hand, and shuffling the Invocation back into the deck. This seems very one-sided. I'm seeing Woodman's hand. Woodman's hand has a ton of hand traps. So we're going to see the Scythe swing into the Thoroughblade. So that is going to be 500 damage along with a 22. He passes turn with no set back row. This is an open turn for the most part, but there is still a Raijin. Now, okay, I see that there is a Kaiju in his hand, so the Raijin will potentially get, I guess, tributed over with a Kaiju. Now, oh, that's the big Kaiju. That's not the one that you want to give to your opponent. And back row is a Twin Twister. He only has a Barrage in hand, so I guess he can still expand his play. He's going to activate the Barrage. Activating the Barrage to pop. Oh my god, he gets hit. Oh, he gets hit by a Ghost Ogre. And, no, checking out life points. 33 plus another 22. That should be lethal right there. All he needs to do is just proceed to the battle phase, I believe, and just swing for game and attack for game. And this is game. Game 1. Wow, this is like the alternate universe version of what happened in the other match. Okay, we're gonna now proceed to game 2. Wow, that was like a very quick finish, very swift. That Ash Blossom, I think, did cost him a bit of the game. He could have slowed the game down by just letting the glass spell search out the ice spell. It would have been okay. So we're gonna start off the game with Tenki. So Rat has been added to hand, Rapier. Now this game has been completely sided now. I can see there is a Flying C inside Justin's hand. And here comes the Flying C. Now to get over this, usually you could either, well, you can slumber it off obviously, but that's probably not going to be the case because you want to keep that Rat. But there's a ton of back row available for Dylan. Dylan proceeds to set 3. Maybe he has to cope with that Flying C for this turn. Flying C is going to infest his side of the board, shutting off the Exceed summoning mechanic. Terraforming has been activated by Justin. Do you want to negate it in some way or form? No, it's good. It's good to go. There is no response. So we're going to see a Magical Meltdown. And he's going to activate the Magical Meltdown. And it is okay. So, Alistair. That Flying C definitely cost Dylan his very first turn. Being unable to play on your very first turn is very, very costly because the game is heavily tempo driven at the moment, is control based, and being unable to establish control on the very first turn will put you quite far behind. Oh boy. Yeah, so Magical Meltdown for... Oh, there's a Twin Twister as well, so this is a complete replay from, I guess, the other game. Oh boy. Twin Twister. So he's going to use... I believe he used a D-barrier to turn off fusions? I actually could not hear that quite clearly. It could have been Synchros, it could have been fusions. But with the Alistair in hand, he probably just turned off the fusions instead. Now, Magical Meltdown does have the effect where your fusion summon cannot be negated. So any cards that would negate the fusion summon can't be active, but you definitely can chain to prevent the summon from coming out. So that's why D-barriers and stuff still work. Oh, Cosmic Cyclone, the last one. That is a very good full-on remove one. Cosmic Cyclone removed the My Body as a Shield, 1,000 life points, and we're going to see a normal summon of the Alistair. I don't think there's anything in either player's graveyard at the moment. So he's going to add the Invocation from the summon of the Alistair. But still, that Alistair is still stronger than the Rapier. Now, even though he does get that Invocation, he's not going to be able to fuse this turn, even with the Light Scythe in the graveyard, just because, well, he's still under a D-barrier. Looking at Dylan's hand, still has the Flying C. That Flying C, he has to put in attack position and kill it off himself because it is a huge problem right now. Checking his grave, there's a Scythe, there's everything. It's a predictable play that the Invocation will bring out a Makaba. I believe there's a Whiptail in hand. Whiptail and another D-barrier. I could be wrong on the D-barrier part, but the Whiptail could put in some work. Yes, attack mode, Flying C is going to swing into the Alistair. That's gonna be for some damage. So he's gonna main phase 2 summon up the Whiptail. He's gonna go into a Borbo, and then a Broadbow, and Solemn Strike. 1500 paid by Woodman. Woodman is feeling pretty good at this point, striking that down. Remember, there is no instant fusion, there is no recovery. Dylan has the set, and now he's gonna play a low resource game. He's basically top decking at this point, and there's gonna be a Macabre coming for Woodman. And there's another D barrier, turning off the fusion once again. Now that invocation is a bit, I guess, in a bit of an awkward spot because there is no banished Alistair. And without the banished Alistair, it's going to be hard to recover that unless you have a second copy available. But I think that's another Twin Twister in Woodman's set. So both players are playing low resource. This could get quite interesting, and it actually makes it a lot more unpredictable. Now, the available fusion options for Woodman would be Magalonica and Macabre. There's no other monster. Oh my god, Ash Blossom coming a bit too late. See, this is the problem with Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, is that she's never a really good top deck. She's never a good top deck. But if the Flying Sea is on the board, if you do play Brionac, you can summon it and then fuse for, not fuse, but like a synchro for a Brionac. So he has to pass turn. At least he has the Ash Blossom to prevent further searches from Woodman. But Woodman's going to swing for another 1,000 and then pass turn. Sets 1. Is he going to be able to get a Zodiac monster? He drew into an Imperial Order. Sets 1 and passes turn. The Imperial Order is just going to prevent, I guess, more things from going up. Another 1,000 slowly chipping away. Slow and Steady is going to win the race. And is he going to win the big prize pool? Now there is a prize on the line here. Now both players will be getting the red version of the tournament map for the top 3 players. But only one of these players will be walking with a big prize pool. Of course, second place also gets prize money as well. Now he has a Raigeki. There's no value in playing that Raigeki right now because, well, what's the point of playing the Raigeki when he is able to use an invocation, sending it off from the graveyard? But he perhaps could set the Ash Blossom. By setting the Ash Blossom, you'll stop taking that kind of damage. And another, wow, that Alistair's putting in some work. Has done as much damage as Blue Eyes White Dragon. And another back row for Woodman. Dylan draws another copy of Ash. This is the proper time to actually set one. If you set one now, it's actually good to go. You can hold off and prevent yourself from taking a bit of damage. Here we go. We're gonna see a set. Oh no, there's a Twin Twister. Is he a Twin Twister? No Twin Twister. I believe that's a copy of Terraforming. Yes, Terraforming has been activated. I think you can wait. I believe you're able to wait on this one. Or you can immediately activate it whatsoever. But if you wait for this one, it's actually a little bit better. If you wait for them to play the Magical Meltdown first, at least it burns a copy of Magical Meltdown. And Woodman would be in the exact same spot, but now he is going to Ash Blossom early, so he prevents the card from being added altogether. I guess it is a 1-for-1, so now Woodman will be taking 800 damage from the Ash Blossom. Ash to Ash. Pass turn. So both players getting a bit of a slower game because of the early aggression. Dylan doesn't exactly have to fear spells at the moment because he does have an Imperial Order. He has a Kaiju Slumber too. Not sure if it's actually worth slumbering the current board where it's a bit of a stalemate. And so yeah, he is going to slumber the board. And is Slumber going through? Slumber can be prevented. No, Slumber goes through, and we're going to see some Kaiju action. So we're going to see Thunder King Kaiju summon on Dylan's side, and on Justin's side, probably a Gameciel, because it's the most damage you can actually push for. Okay, well, I guess there's gonna be 1100 damage to push into Mr. Woodman. I mean, this isn't some OP strike, but man, this is one way to hold on to the game. Imperial Order plus the Thunder King Kaiju can push for a lot of damage. Because it basically shuts off all the spells and it becomes a game of who's got the bigger monster. And since Justin and Mr. Woodman is reliant on, well, spells to actually bring out his boss monsters, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. Unless, of course, he can chain the Twin Twister. And he does have the Twin Twister, bear in mind. But if he tries to, so he's going to attack Twin Twister. He's going to pop his own card. I believe he has to chain the Imperial Order. If he chains the Imperial Order, he's going to prevent the artifact from coming out, which could potentially be a moral attack. If it's a moral attack, the game is going to basically end. And this way he would have actually preemptively baited off that Twin Twister, so negating the Twin Twisters altogether. He's targeting his own card, guaranteed that that is going to be an artifact monster. And he's about to lose his Regeki along the way. If he's able to keep the well, his Regeki will be pretty much useless, so we're going to see an Imperial Order activation. Oh, that puts Justin in a bit of a weird spot. He has two traps, well, one trap and one artifact, and Twin Twister is negated, and we're going to continue the swing because Kaiju Slumber requires the swing to happen, and there's going to be 1100 damage. And past this turn, we're going to take 700 damage of payment from Imperial Order. Remember, it's during it's both players' turns now, and I believe Woodman just top deck into the best possible top deck. A Windwitch Ice Spell. Ice Spell is going to activate. We're going to see him summon out a... Here it comes. Here it comes. There's the Glass Bell. Glass Bell is going to activate. And there's going to be a chain link, so there's going to be a bit of burn damage. I think it's 500 burn right here. But I'm not sure how many copies of Snowbell he runs. He did throw a Snowbell away earlier, so there might not be any kind of incredible synchroing to deal with this current problem. No, he is going to be adding another Ice Bell, I believe. Synchro options include, well, Winter Bell, of course, and there's also probably a another Wind Synchro. Of course, there's going to be Clear Wing Dragon, Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. And I think those are his only options. We don't have the Pendulum Synchro Clearing Fast Dragon. We don't have that. And I guess that monster would still be actually smaller. Oh, Dylan's life points is so low. This is actually not very good. The problem comes from the payment of Imperial Order. He's very low on life points. If you have to pay for that Imperial Order once more and take another burn, I believe he's going to die. No, he's got to read both these monsters. This is... Somehow, the chipping away at life points are going to take another 700 from the Imperial Order. That puts Dylan at a very, very low life points. He does not have another turn after this. The Imperial Order will probably end his life. And Windwitch's burn effects are actually coming in very, very clutch for Justin. Literally using his abilities to, well, basically kill off Dylan. Burn him to death, per se. So we're gonna see a Sticky String Kaiju added from the Slumber. And it's gonna add the Earth one. Oh boy. He's gonna have to battle. I think he sees his dire situation. I think he sees it very clearly. He has to get an out, but there's no way to actually stop anything, and he has a Raigeki in hand. The problem is, it's Woodman's hand that's gonna kill him. Dylan can't find out, and he offers the handshake as he concedes. Now, let me just calculate the life here. 1900 life points, 700 taken off from the Imperial Order. We get 800 from the Winter Belt, and another 500 from the Ice Belt. Not even Strike can save him from this, and he saw his demise and scoops up. Congratulations, Justin, for winning MOS5. Now, just a heads up to everyone, we have deck profiles of both players that's going to be uploaded tomorrow. And subscribe if you want the earliest notification for that. And I have more MOS feature matches coming up, which I will upload scattered throughout the weeks. And I got a few interesting deck profiles from players that play interesting decks. If you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button. And if you want to see more stuff, click on the panels on the right. And as always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and especially against artifacts.